Hello, how are you? Good morning. How are you? Are you there? Are you there? Good morning. Can anybody answer me? Are you there? Hello? Anybody? Can anybody hear me? Anybody? Are you there? Please? Today's internet connection is not very good. But can you hear me, please? I need your answer. Can you hear me, please? Anybody? My God.
Has dado la conexión. Has dado la conexión. Hay gente, sí, gente.
Yeah, but
Has dado la
nobody answers me.
¿Has dado la conexión?
No. Yes.
No, digo.
Yes,
no.
yes, yes. Can anybody answer me, please?
¿Qué? Vale.
No? My God. There's some problems here. Sorry. There are problems here. Can you hear me? I can receive you.
Que si se oye. ¿Me oyes? Se oye y se ve.
Can you hear me? Can we start? Can we start? I'm not very sure. Okay, so I don't know exactly the problem, but anyway, we want to start. Now, please, go to your, thank you, very good. So, go to your notes, and we want to work about economy. This is a very interesting theme, and you need to have before you your notes. And this is the first part of our theme, and this is the definition of an economy. So an economy is a system for allocating resources to meet people's needs and desires. Okay, and it determines how goods, this is an important concept, and services, another interesting concept. Okay, goods and services are made and exchanged. The study of the economy is called economics, and a person who studies economics is called an economist. So this is the things that are really important here, and we have here two definitions about goods and services. So goods are physical objects that are bought and sold, and they include things like car, food, clothes. Okay, you can name it. Okay? Any physical object that can be bought and sold is a good. And services are something different. Are actions, and these actions, one person pays for another to do for them. So services include things like medical care, teaching, firefighting, babysitting, many things. So these are the two important things you need to bear in mind when you study economics. And then we had a very interesting exercise about money, because money is something that we are used to use every single day, but money has a history. And before going to the correction of this exercise, I'd like you to pay attention to a couple of video clips that are interesting for you to better understand money. So pay attention here, because you have here
the story of money.
Story of money.
Imagine living a long time ago, in a time without money.
So we're going back in time. Okay, so this is the Middle Ages, but we are going back and farther back again.
How about 9000 BC? Instead of money, there was swapping, also known as bartering.
Okay, bartering. This is the first concept. So this is the exchange of goods. Okay, no money. There were no money. There was no money there. Okay, and people exchange goods between them.
It worked like this.
Want to swap this apple for an orange?
Yes. I want a cow. You want some wheat?
But there were problems with this. The items needed to be of a similar value.
How about swapping this apple for that DVD?
No way, that's not fair.
The other problem was that many items would go rotten and so didn't keep their value.
Okay, so you could have an apple, but many objects were not good.
And some were too heavy to even carry.
You have an elephant, was very difficult to carry.
It started to get even more complicated when people began using gifts like perfume, jewelry, and other valuable goods.
You want this perfume for that necklace?
I don't like the smell of it. No.
However,
This is China. This is important because China was the place where money was first invented. China.
in China, they had started using cowrie shells as money.
Shells, okay? So shells were used as an item to facilitate the exchanging.
So instead of swapping things for other things, you could buy the things you wanted with shells.
Okay, so imagine you have some different goods, rice or some sticks, and
With shells.
Okay. You can exchange a tiger for 3,000 shells, like that, or more.
But no one in the West knew about this, because back then there was no social media, internet, TV, or telephone to communicate.
Okay, it was in China, but in the West, so in Europe, at those times, there were no bartering at all, no shells.
So what did they try in the West? They started to use items that were not perishable, items that wouldn't break or get easily damaged. Gold. But
So gold was the thing that here in the western part start to appear as a kind of item that couldn't be perishable, it couldn't be broken. Gold.
gold was too heavy to keep on you and carry around.
Gold was really heavy to carry about.
But what if it was a little smaller? In 200 AD, coins of precious metals were made. They were small, which made them easier to carry around. To make things even easier, the coins were weighed and stamped so everyone knew how much they were worth.
Okay, so here you have a symbol, and this is a coin, a gold coin, and this symbol means that this value is worth.
People started to give their gold coins to the goldsmith to look after and keep them safe.
Can you look after my gold for me, please?
Yes.
So and people start going to the goldsmith to keep them, okay, because they didn't want to be stolen.
Here's your £10 receipt.
And here in exchange they got kind of note. This is a note. This is the first money.
These receipts were the earliest types of banknotes. They have developed and now they are no longer linked to gold.
And this is a bank, okay, as we know it now.
Over time, more and more security features have been added to notes to stop.
Okay, so but notes are very easy to fake. So many other features were added up to the notes, okay, to make sure they were true.
Them being copied, as well as getting smaller so they now fit into our pockets. Money has continued to change, and in the 1950s, credit cards were invented.
And today we don't have physical money. We have this kind of cards, okay, and many people use these cards to pay.
Cards mean that now we don't need to carry notes and coins around to pay for stuff. In recent years, with better computers and internet technology, we don't even need to be there to pay for a product. Most of the money in the world is now, in fact, invisible.
Today people lived without money.
Money
In many weeks, in many months, you can live without seeing any money, any coin at all, because you just paid with your credit card.
has come a long way over the years, and it continues to change. Who knows what the future will hold?
Okay, so that's interesting. And with that, we can go back to our notes. And this is the first text you have there. So the history of money. And as you know, money is anything that is commonly accepted by a group of people for the exchange of good, service, or resources. This is money. In the beginning, people barter. This is the concept, okay? This is kind of exchange. So bartering is the exchange of a good of service for another good of service. For example, a bag of rice for a bag of beans. However, what if you couldn't agree with something was worth in exchange of you didn't want what the other person had? To solve that problem, humans developed what is called commodity money. So this is an image for bartering. So you have a fish, and I can give you grain in exchange for this fish. What? Okay, so a commodity is a basic item used by almost everyone. In the past, items such as salt, tea, tobacco, cattle, and seeds were commodities, and therefore were once used as money. So you could use a cow, you could use grains, okay? This is coffee as a kind of money. However, using commodities as money had other problems. Carrying bags of salt and other commodities was hard, and commodities were difficult or to store or were perishable. So, and then metals appeared. Remember, we are doing the review of history. We're talking about the prehistory, about the Neolithic. When we study about cows, agriculture, and the raising of cattle, we're talking about Neolithic. When we talk about bartering, we're talking about Paleolithic. when people lived in caves. But here we have metals. We are doing the review of history. Now we are in ancient history in the Metal Ages. You remember Metal Ages. So, metal objects were introduced as money around 5000 BC. By this year, the Lydians was a people that lived where today is Greece, became the first in the Western world to make coins. Countries were soon maintaining their own series of coins with specific values. Metal was used because it was readily available, easy to work with, and could be recycled. Since coins were given a certain value, it became easier to compare the cost of items people wanted. And this is the last stage. Some of the earliest known paper money dates back to ancient China, where the issuing of paper money became common from about this year, AD 960 onwards. With the introduction of paper currency and non-precious coinage, commodity money evolved into representative money. So we today use representative money. We don't use a paper. That means that we have some amount of gold in the bank. We have representative money. So this is based on trust in the system. This meant that what money itself was made of no longer had to be very valuable. Representative money was backed by a government. Banks promised to exchange it for a certain amount of silver or gold. And this is the person that wrote this text. Okay, very good. And you have some questions here. We want to answer these questions. So, question A. In an economy, the exchange of a merchandise for another merchandise is called, and you have to choose between 1, shopping, 2, buying, 3, selling, or 4, bartering. Shopping, you need a shop, impossible. Buying, you need coins or money. Selling, the same, and the only correct answer is bartering. Good. B. People used bartering in the, and you can choose between, we are here, question B, and you can choose between Paleolithic, Neolithic, Metal Age, or Middle Ages. So, remember we're talking about bartering, changing. So, there was no coins, no metal there. Impossible Metal Ages or Middle Ages. We have to choose between Paleolithic or Neolithic. We're talking about bartering. The correct answer is Paleolithic. Paleolithic. So, Paleolithic people, men and women, used to barter when they were wandering around in their territories. Now, see, why did people stop bartering? Why? And we can choose between they invented paper money, or not always did people agree with the value of the other's good, or 3, bartering was too complicated, or 4, they invented metal coins. So 4 is the consequence, but it's not the cause. People stopped bartering because bartering was too complicated. Good. Let's continue. D. Commodity money was invented in the Paleolithic, Neolithic, Metal Age, or Middle Age. Commodity money. Remember, a commodity. We have another question later about that. Commodity is any object that you can carry. So you don't need to have in the Middle Age. Neolithic, or Metal Age? Metal Age. Very good. So this is the answer. You can correct. E. Nowadays, so today, an example of a commodity, something that everybody uses, would be a private jet, an electronic microscope, a mobile phone, and Olympic medal. So, a commodity is something that everybody can have. So, this is not true for a private jet, not for an electronic microscope, not for an Olympic medal, but for a mobile phone. This is a commodity. Good. So, F. Why did people stop using commodity money? Why? And we can choose between it was difficult to manage, you had plenty of it, or it was better to practice bartering again. 3. The first bank made its appearance. Or 4. People became poor. 4. Impossible, because poor people have exist in all times. So 4. Impossible. And the correct answer would be number 1. Imagine you have a lot of mobile phones. It's very difficult for you to carry them around. So, number 1 is the correct answer. Good. Now, G. Coins were invented in the Paleolithic, Neolithic, Metal Age, or Middle Age. We're talking about coins, so we're talking about metals. So that means that we can rule out Paleolithic or Neolithic, because people didn't use metals at those times, only stone, do you remember? So we're talking about Metal Age. Yes, Metal Age is the correct answer. H. The process of making coins is called, this is difficult, minting, modeling, painting, banking. No, the correct answer is minting. Okay, this is the process, minting. The mint is the place with machines where they make coins, minting. And next, paper money was invented in China in the, and we can choose between Paleolithic, Neolithic, Metal Age, or Middle Age. Paleolithic, impossible. Talking about paper money. Neolithic, Metal Age, or Middle Age. And the correct answer is number 4, in the Middle Age. The Middle Age, according to our text. And finally, we have the money we use nowadays, today, is commodity money. We're talking about this question. Good. So, about commodity money, precious coinage, representative money, or virtual money. And you're right. The correct answer is number 3, representative money. Okay, very good. And now I'd like you to watch again another video clip about the same theme, and this is another different video clip about the story of money. Pay attention to it. It's an Indian video.
Evolution of money, from barter to digital money. Have you ever...
Okay, so we want to know things about the money from barter or bartering, the exchange of goods and services for another good and service. to digital money. So the money that you can use, your parents use all the time to buy things.
Ever wondered how money came into existence? Centuries ago, there was no money. So how did people buy and sell? It all started with the barter system. Imagine a prosperous kingdom. In this kingdom, there were people doing different types of work, like weavers, cobblers, farmers, tailors, etc. This is Kisna, a farmer. This is Manoj, a cobbler. When Manoj needs vegetables, he goes to Kisna and exchanges a pair of slippers for the vegetables he needs.
Okay, this is changing. So a pair of slippers for some tomatoes. Okay, good.
Both are happy. This is known as barter system. The system by which one person could exchange goods and services produced by him with goods and services produced by another. This is called a barter system. Barter system works on double coincidence principle. Two coincidences have to happen. One is that you should find someone who's willing to sell what you want.
Okay, so first, you want tomatoes, you need to find anyone with tomatoes. Okay, if you can't find anyone with tomatoes, you can get this. So this is something that is very difficult with bartering to find. With bartering, you have to be lucky.
And second is that the seller wants something that you're willing to sell.
Okay, imagine you got some tomatoes, and this person wants to exchange your tomatoes for this pair of slippers, but you have a lot of them, so you don't want them.
But does barter system always work? The direct exchange of one commodity for another requires direct satisfaction of both parties. Now, Manoj needs more vegetables and goes to Kisna, but Kisna doesn't need more footwear.
Okay. Now, in this case, this person wants more than tomatoes. He wants carrots. He wants many other vegetables, and this person doesn't want more slippers.
Hence, no barter takes place.
No agreement.
Now Manoj needs a haircut and goes to Shambhu the barber. But the value of the haircut is much lesser than the value of a pair of slippers.
So, how many haircuts for two slippers? Only one, but you don't need only one slipper. You need a pair of them.
And the slipper cannot be divided, and hence no barter takes place. Manoj needs milk, but the quantity of milk to be received in exchange for a pair of slippers is very high. And with milk being perishable, Manoj doesn't want to...
Imagine, if you want to exchange this pair of slippers, you can receive this amount of milk, okay? But you don't want this amount of milk. This amount of milk, you have to drink it if you want not to get rotten. So this is a drawback for bartering.
Hence, barter does not take place. Thus, the exchange of goods was not easy. Imagine the confusion. That's why the barter system gradually ended. But what was the alternative? Around the same time, metals were discovered and took over the ancient world. In the 6th century BC, the first coins resembling the current one...
We're talking about Metal Ages, okay? Ancient history, remember, Metal Ages in China. It is a coin.
Appeared. They were small metal pieces with fixed weight and value. And
all of them had an advantage. They had the same value. So that was a very interesting advantage from bartering.
Bearing an official seal, which is the mark of the government who has minted them, and also a guarantee of their value.
The government could say this is a guarantee. That's the value of this coin, the government.
The first metals used were gold and silver. In the Mauryan period, gold, silver, and copper coins were being used.
Okay, so gold, silver, and copper, three interesting metals, three important metals. We're talking about Metal Ages and on.
King Sher Shah Suri issued a silver coin which was termed as rupiah. The Hindi word rupiah
So
is
this is an Indian video clip. So rupiah is the coin, is the coin in India. Today, rupiah is the coin in India. Actually, it is.
derived from the Sanskrit word rupiah, which means a coin of silver. The silver coin remained in use during the Mughal period, the Maratha era, as well as in British India. After independence of India in 1947 and the accession of the princely states to the new union, the Indian rupee replaced all the currencies of previously autonomous states.
Okay, so this is the history of India. This is interesting for us as well.
After its formation, the Reserve Bank of India issued notes and coins on behalf of
These are notes. These are notes. Paper money. Notes.
the Government of India. India has progressed a lot and now has many digital payment options like credit cards, wallets, online transfer facility, thus moving from a cash to a cashless society.
Okay, so that is true for India and for Spain, for us as well. Very good, very good, very good. Now please go back to your notes, and in this case please go to your text part. And yesterday you had to study the three economic sectors of an economy, and they are very easy to understand. So you have here economic sectors.
I'm always
Oh,
broke.
sorry.
I wanted to buy the store at the store today.
Sorry. And we can continue. So, a nation's economy can be divided into three sectors that form a chain that provides customers with finished goods or services. The chain starts with the utilization of raw materials from nature, and you have the primary sector here, the secondary sector here, and the tertiary sector here. And what is primary sector? Primary sector involves acquiring raw materials from nature, and the activities are agriculture, among others, agriculture, farming, fishing, mining, forestry. Okay, so these five activities belong to the primary sector. Why? Because this is a job, this is a work that involves acquiring raw materials. You can make them, you can't make them. You have to take them from nature. You want a metal, you have to go mining. You want a tomato, you have to farm tomatoes. You want a fish, you can make a fish. You have to catch it. Okay, so, and we have the secondary sector. And this sector produces finished goods, not services, but goods from the primary sector. So you have iron. You can carry the iron to an industry, and from this iron you can make a car. This is secondary sector. And activities, out of them, these are just some of them. So automobile production, textile production, chemical engineering, many kind of industries. And finally we have the third sector, the tertiary sector. And the tertiary sector refers to activities a society needs, trade and distribution process. We're not talking about goods, we're talking about services. And services are actions, activity. And some examples are healthcare, teaching, law, retail and wholesale sales, transportation, a lot of them, restaurants, restaurants. This is the tertiary sector. Okay, so it's related to services. Is the service sector. Okay, secondary sector is related to industries, and primary sector is related to acquiring raw materials from nature. It's before continuing, I've chosen another video clip about that. Pay attention to it.
The 3 economic sectors. Facts for kids. The primary sector. We obtain raw material or natural products.
So this is the keyword: raw materials or natural products. These are the keywords for primary sector.
The secondary sector. We transform raw material or natural resources into manufactured products.
So we need companies or we need industries here. Okay, secondary sectors. The transformation of raw materials into manufactured products, man-made products.
The tertiary sector. Businesses sell the products and services.
The keyword is services. So tertiary sector, keyword, services. That's primary sector.
Activities in the primary sector. Crop farming.
You remember crop? You remember crop? That word means cosecha in Spanish. Okay, so farming, farmyard, viticulture, some examples.
Crop farmers cultivate grains, fruits, and vegetables in their fields. Livestock farming.
Livestock is what in Spanish we call ganado.
Livestock farmers raise cattle and other animals to obtain products like meat, milk, or wool. Fishing. Fishermen and women catch fish in rivers, seas, and oceans. Mining. Miners extract minerals like diamonds and iron from mines and petrol from deposits under the ground. Silviculture. Silviculturists cultivate forests to obtain products.
Silviculture, this is Latin, selva, okay, forests, jungles, okay, forest.
Like wood, paper, resin, and cork.
Cork is corcho. Secondary sector.
Activities in the secondary sector. Automobile production. Textile industry. Chemical and engineer industries. Aerospace manufacturing.
Many more. Not only these four, there are many more. They are some examples.
Breweries and bottles. shipbuilding, construction,
This is the tertiary sector.
activities
Services.
in the tertiary sector, healthcare, education, trade, communications, tourism, transport, security,
Okay,
original
so
idea and composition by Andres. Voice by Hannah James.
very good, very good, very good, very funny. Okay, so that's all, and I hope you like it. Remember, you have to study that today, okay, today, and the primary sector in Spain. Remember that when you finish this, you got to remember, you got to complete these exercises number 2, 3, 4, and so more. You have a lot of work today. Okay, very good. So we can finish this class today. Thank you.